Hello and welcome back. We're the Full Time Ultras, and we're back with another international virtual podcast for y'all. We have our Arsenal fan back amongst us. Hi, Raghu. How are you doing?
I just doing pretty good. Had a nice weekend. A good result for Arsenal, but good to start off the Premier League campaign in the second half with this. Yeah.
How was December, bro?
Let's only talk about 2024.
Yeah, the person you just heard from is Riku, again, back after a long time. Even though he lives nearby,
Yeah, how have you all been?
how we've been.
How
What?
then, yeah, I've missed being here. It's been a long time since my beautiful face came on this podcast. But then I heard a lot of people asking where was I. If you've read our YouTube comments, sorry, not me. Okay, but then I'm excited to be here today. It's been a great Sunday yesterday. It was quite surprising, to be honest, that I didn't expect Liverpool cruising to a very smooth victory at the end of it. But then, yeah, fun day, fun day.
Sunday, fun day.
All right.
Thanks.
And finally, we have our man down under, Google.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
That sounds wrong, but it is not, guys. Please throw your
From
brains
down under.
away in the garbage. Throw your brains away in the garbage.
Yes.
But no,
I mean Australia.
it's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'm pretty sure the viewers were already bored seeing Raghav and Shahan every episode talking about their United garbage. Nobody cares. Just nobody cares. So it's fine to have a fresh panel. Let's get started.
Fresh panel, yeah. Yeah, let's get started. And let's start with our table toppers then. Liverpool winning 4-0 away at
Redmouth.
Bournemouth. Redmouth, yeah. At Bournemouth, my bad.
Yeah.
Bit
Brentford.
of a
Sorry?
yes. Let's start naming all the teams that start with the letter B, shall we? Yeah, it was a bit of a tricky first half, no, Rico?
I didn't watch it, so I don't care. I literally started from the 47th minute. We scored in the 49th minute, and I went on to watch a very beautiful part of the game. So I'm quite happy. My Monday morning was quite happy. So yeah, but it's quite surprising. I heard that I was reading the articles, I was reading the post-match reviews, and all the other content. I was quite surprised that actually we stepped up our game. I think after, and I honestly feel we haven't been playing too well. Again, I mean what I said in the past episodes as well. Liverpool is scraping through a lot of these results. I think we should have. I mean, Arsenal played much better than us before Christmas. We somehow secured a draw there. Of course, City played much better than us again in that game, but we again somehow secured a draw there. So all these games we're just scraping through, but I think that's exactly what it takes to win a title, and that's exactly what happened in 2019-20 as well, the COVID year when we won the title. Those are all scrappy 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 wins, right? So I mean, and your heart keeps racing till the very last minute in such scenarios. But then Liverpool comes out with those 3 points, and at the end, that's what matters. So, but there's so much to work on. Yeah, but it was a beautiful game yesterday. I think at least the second half for me was amazing. So it was quite fluid.
Yeah, of course. Second half, I mean, y'all really ran away with it.
But then I
Bournemouth
think
probably
in the
shaded
first half they were still in the holiday mode, still sleeping. There was just, I mean, yeah, Liverpool just looked like they were switched off. There was like Klopp was trying to push that button key by Jago, get up, wake up, but there are too many errors in the first half. But
Play button daba.
Bournemouth just weren't able to capitalize. But
Yeah,
if
Bournemouth
those, if those chances had gone in and Bournemouth happened to score, then probably it would have been a very different picture, very different.
But the entire game they had one shot, na, on target.
No, but then Liverpool made so many mistakes. It's not only about shots, भाई ये stats पढ़ के आ जाते हैं game का discussion करने. Game देख भाई. I mean, it's not just about the shots taken. It was how they
Shots
were
taken?
getting shots, how they were getting the ball that they weren't able to capitalize on those chances. Like Liverpool was giving the ball away too easy, too many scrappy errors in the defense. So all of that.
Hey,
But wouldn't you say, I don't know, Riku, what do you think? But wouldn't you say this has been them for a lot of the season? Like they somehow, I was just talking to you guys. I think they switch on somehow on the 70th minute around that time, and then they run away. I think even
Second
with
half FC,
Arsenal,
I think we can officially start calling Liverpool second half FC.
comeback FC, second of FC, वही है भाई.
Hmm.
और मतलब it's become so natural to our game now. We have to go down a goal, or probably we have to be horrible in the first half. Only then we switch our gears and then we wake up and we're like, oh, new day. But then that's how Liverpool's been playing. I mean, can you imagine going down against Fulham at Anfield and then coming back and winning 4-3 and doing that again in the Carling Cup? We're coming back against a one when I think Fulham was 1-0 up, right?
Yeah.
In the semi-final, and then
Yes.
the Carabao Cup, and then we won 2-1 by scoring in the 70th and the 80th minute or something like that. That late, so it's been that kind of a season. But I don't mind it, to be honest. That's what I'm saying. But there's so much to improve, man. There's so much. I
but
mean,
what's working though? Like so, okay, if I compare with Arsenal, even like for us, it's not that we haven't had late winners this season. We've had some amazing games with like those tense moments towards the end. But would you say around that period in the second half, the substitutes are working well?
that obviously, this season, Klopp has been so accurate with his substitutions, which is great because he has timed it so well. He has not waited till and he has not created a lot of dependency on the attackers. He switched very quickly when he's seen that things are not working out. Jabki, I mean, for example, when Diaz was not playing well, he got on Jota in one of these games. I think last one, 2 or 3 games, I don't remember. And Jota scored, or Jota really pumped up the game. Same thing happened with Nunez. I think Gakpo hasn't been that great a sub, but that's where he's using Gakpo really well. That he starts with Gakpo and then switches with somebody else, right? So Gakpo is, I mean, but that's one thing. Substitutions has been really good. But second thing, very important, is the relentless adrenaline that is gushing through the team and the chemistry between the team. I think that is what defines Liverpool today. I mean, yesterday in the 97th minute, after being 4-0 up, Nunez is still tracking down and pressing the very last defender in their line. And it's just, I mean, that kind of push, or that kind of just go for it and just keep pushing to make things happen. That's something, I think that's only two teams in this entire league has that characteristic, that City and Liverpool. And I think that's one of the key areas that Arsenal has learned that. I think that has come,
Yeah.
that has percolated from Guardiola to Arteta, and Arteta has started that. He's gotten the right set of players now. Because if you see, I used to see a lot of these analysis shows back in 2019, 20. Since then, I haven't really gotten time to get into it. But I remember Arsenal being evaluated on how they used to just sit and relax, and how deep they used to be. There used to be no press, no coordination, no chemistry. But this time around, at least against Liverpool, go for the ball. Even if you're not winning, and that mentality has percolated from Guardiola, I feel, and Arteta is using it beautifully. I think that's one of the things that is working. So yeah, but yeah, I think those are the two things that Liverpool has been doing quite well. It's just the last ditch push to get things done. It doesn't matter if you win the ball or you don't. You have to go and get it. So, or just put the effort. That's what defines club football. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's also what defines a champion level team, because you often hear this about teams like the great teams of old, as well as the current champion teams who don't relent till the final whistle, and they keep pushing and they find something even late on, even if it's like a scrappy 1-0 or you get 1 point out of a lost cause. There's still points on the board that could help you win the title. And as you said, that scrappy mentality is embodied quite well, in particular by Darwin Nunez. So I actually wanted to come to you, Google, because Nunez is someone who's got a lot of criticism, a lot of trolls on his back for his finishing or lack thereof.
And
But
for
again,
some
he scored
reason, yeah,
yesterday.
he gets the goals for some reason. He's like Timo Werner with goals. He'll give you memes and he'll give you goals as well.
Yeah,
It's like a perfectly
but
balanced deal.
And
yeah,
assists. He has the highest assists in Liverpool right now.
Oh wow.
he's actually he's got
He's
10
ahead of Salah. He's
goals.
ahead of Trent.
Yeah, he got 10 goals and 10 plus assists in all competitions
Yeah,
actually this
yeah.
season.
He has the highest number of assists right now. I mean,
No matter how many memes you make on him, he's still getting the output for the team. So he
and
deserves
the
credit where it's due.
Yeah.
and the versatility of that guy. First half, I think I read he was playing on the left. Second half, he was playing through the center, playing through the middle, and amazing control. यार कल मतलब
I mean,
the
Rico, I know
हाँ,
you like your players too much, but nowadays every striker has to do that. There is no player who plays just in the middle except Erling Haaland. They keep switching. ठीक है इतना कुछ बड़ा कुछ खास नहीं पड़ा.
नहीं, when did NKDA play on the left? Did he?
अभी जरूरत पड़ी
He
तो
just
खेल ले.
like so the point is I don't so formally he's not he doesn't play from the left, right? But they do swap in and out.
Yeah, but
That's the
Nunez-
definition of a modern front three. You
No,
have to
but
keep
Nunez
switching.
has started on the left wing. Nunez has started on the left wing a lot, many times, and he has even played 90 minutes on the left.
Klopp just wanted to tick off a box in the absurd things he's done in 2024. Nunez
No,
को
but that's
not
also
playing
that has to do with the system as well, because the strikers, the central striker was dropping in a lot more, which meant that the two wide players were effectively acting as strikers, getting in
Inverted
behind.
striker.
What it was in what?
That's what happens
Inverted
when they come
striker.
to play in Australia. नहीं,
Oh my
आपको
God.
sorry.
Diogo did not get that.
It's okay.
Diogo did not understand.
Southern hemisphere, inverted fullback.
Everything's upside down.
It's okay. It's
उसको
okay.
अभी भी नहीं समझ आया.
Yeah, moving on.
There's no
Moving on.
No, it's
He's like भाई अच्छा खासा conversation चल रहा था कहाँ से?
we had a good thoughts.
नहीं, let's
Yeah.
Yeah, moving
Answer your
on to
question.
another player who's been.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've fairly answered that, to be honest. Like Nunez and his impact, basically. Another player who had a very big impact on yesterday's game was Diogo Jota and Riku. Mainly in the context of no Salah. This seems to be like we wondered if he would struggle for goals, but Jota really picked up his game yesterday. He was involved in all 4 goals, no? In some capacity.
Yeah, in some capacity in the build-up, at least I think 2 goals, 1 assist. But
Yeah,
you saw the goals yesterday. I don't know. I mean, if you did or not.
yeah, I
but,
did.
the build-up of those, almost all of those goals, at least not the first goal, but the build-up of all those goals were like there were these long clearances done by VVD
Yeah.
Konate. The ball drops in the midfield kind of area, and then one of the strikers probably it 90% of the time it was Jota. His decision making to fall back and create the game from the midfield, because McAllister and the other guys, Gravenberch and all, they're quite deep because they had to also support Bradley and the other guy on the left. I think it was Cook or somebody who was playing on the left. I'm forgetting the name, sorry. But then, and these youngsters, they were brilliant, man. Bradley has been so good. Even in our cup games, he's been so good. But the point is that Jota's decision making is so good here. I mean, yesterday when he miscued that ball, I think for the 3rd goal or the 4th goal, he miscued the
Yeah,
ball.
third goal.
He still went for it. You're like, जाके मैं मारेगा भाई, मैं पैर घुमाएगा, कुछ हो जाए ना हो, मैं पैर घुमाएगा, बॉल अंदर गया तो गया, घंटा फर्क पड़ता है मुझे. But he will go for those balls because he's just a forward pressing player. He doesn't think too much. He's like, let me just go ahead and score a goal. And that's the beauty of.
That's contrary to what Klopp has been saying about Jota. He says that Jota is one of the smartest players in their team. I mean, I was
So
just
I'm saying
reading.
he's smart. Yeah.
He's not just the by just don't think, just shoot. He's very intelligent as well.
That is
from what I
Nunez.
heard.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. I mean his his decision making on the ball, off the ball is so good that he'll not only score a goal, but he'll also ensure that somebody else can score a goal. That's the beauty of Jota's gameplay, right? I mean, he will make those cuts, and he's so good with his not only with his feet but also with his head. I mean, one of the most underrated heads right now in the league. I mean, in the front line of this league. But then Jota is brilliant, man. I mean, amazing player.
Yeah, and like particularly something that stands out to me about him is his movement, basically his ability to find those spaces. And like you said, he's got a lot of headed goals for someone who's not at all really, tall. And that's because he finds those spaces in between defenders and, times his headers and stuff.
And you know what? I questioned the Liverpool strategy to, bulk up on the front line since the last 2 years. We have like 6-7 frontline players, with Mo Salah being constant. So there are like 2 players only that you can rotate, right? And I thought that was not a great idea. I thought people would slack off. And what happens is, Liverpool has always been that steady front three, right?
Yeah.
Salah, Mane, right? And you then bulk up to try out a new strategy, and it has worked so well. I was absolutely not for it, but I thought it wouldn't work out, because what happens is you have a steady front three, one gets injured, the other takes some time to ramp up to that level, and then you can start moving on. So what has happened is that probably it's also at the backstage what is happening is that probably a lot of competition within the front line, healthy competition within the front line is building up. That has boomed a lot of players like Jota. Gakpo still has some ground to cover, but then Diaz is so good. Diaz is doing so well when at least he's on the pitch. He's at least contributing in terms of the incisions that he's making. He's going forward with the ball. He has that agility, right, which is probably missing in the other. Everybody contributes in some form or the other, right? Jota has brilliant decision making. Gakpo is direct. Nunez is like, मैं मारेगा, चार shot में आधा गोल जाएगा. And then Salah is Salah. So that's how the front line has been functioning, which is beautiful. And it's just they complement each other. It's not like everybody has the same skill. ऐसा नहीं है. Because what happened with Bobby, Salah, Mane was that everybody had different skills, but there was nobody else to backfill them, right?
So if they got injured,
yeah, there was nobody. We had like a difficult phase when I remember because Origi was a very different kind of a player. I think he was the only player who could backfill probably a Bobby. And we were so shit scared when the Barcelona game happened back in 2019 because of valid reasons. Today, if that kind of a game comes up and probably Salah is not there, we might still come out with a result, or something might just happen because there is a different set of skilled players. So yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Salah, Liverpool's record without Salah is actually quite impressive. 8 games without him, not yet lost a single one. And again, a lot of talk was about him not being there for this maybe crucial stretch right now.
And he might be off for a very long time. So,
but I thought
I think it's been confirmed that he's just gone for 2 games. So
he'll go back. I think if Egypt
even I have my thoughts about that also. I think Liverpool as a club is protecting him too much, and because of their influence, he's not being. No, it's honest, right? You see how Onana was treated. I mean, they say it was Onana's decision, but then he had to make that trip in 24 hours because his club wanted him. So, I mean, it's national teams, it's a continental cup of your national team, and the clubs have the bigger say. I mean, I don't get it. But I think Liverpool in that front is protecting Mo Salah a bit, which is why even Egypt has to be cautious with how they use him. Because if something happens to him in this international duty, I think Liverpool are not going to be that easy. And then aage jaake, if he's allowed to go for the national team and stuff like that. So
no, but it's also
there is always the influence.
It's also the players'
choice.
I mean, the players' decision. He's getting paid. It's the players.
I don't think Liverpool would stop him if he were fit, to be honest.
I mean, they wouldn't, but of course, you have to protect the player for the club. I
get what you're saying in the sense that he's picked up.
To be honest, you go 10 years back if this was the situation. I think even if the player was 50% fit, they would play for the national team. instead of missing
Yeah,
a last
they should.
crucial
Oh, that's
group
true.
stage
That's
game.
true.
I agree. I agree.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
This is
That's
kind of
true.
mollycoddling, which I don't really appreciate. But if I think I haven't read about it. Why has he come back? I read about it that he has come back for rehab. It's probably because also even probably
who
we don't know
has
the
come
backstory.
back 2 game के लिए मतलब 2 हफ्ते के लिए has come back to Liverpool for rehab.
हाँ,
Yeah,
So
they said
he has come back to
हाँ,
Liverpool.
he
What
come
do
back to
this guy
Merseyside.
think? Like 10-hour flights or whatever it is that easy? I mean,
हाँ.
there's no way they're
So
going to let him go.
Liverpool,
They'll make up an
no,
excuse and
Liverpool
say,
are saying that they brought him back because the facilities they have, and they have
Exactly.
access
I was
to a
coming to that.
lot better facilities, and that's why they feel like he can recover better here and faster here than he would at an AFCON.
Exactly. So that
Uh,
is the reason. That is the reason, root cause behind why he has come back. It's not,
yeah,
I feel, but that is also kind of a mollycoddling kind of situation. But I feel that it's okay. I mean, because if he can recover quicker and can go back to his national team, it's only because of the facilities that is there at Liverpool right now, or the academy. So, I mean, great. Why not?
yeah.
And
imagine if this was your country playing like a football World Cup, नहीं cricket World Cup है. If Virat Kohli gets injured, do you want him to come? Do you want him to come back to the NC, or would you rather have him with the team like a crucial player who's their leader, who's their legend? Would you rather have them around the team, or would you नहीं भाई तो क्लब में जाके थोड़ा अच्छे से खाना पीना खा थोड़ा ठीक हो जा
salad
फिर
has salad.
2 हफ्ते चिल करके फिर अगर हम आगे गए तो आ जाना मदद करने वरना just chill. Would you have that?
Hummus खा के आना.
I mean, there's two sides to this
I mean,
conversation.
I don't want to dwell on this much longer. I just want to quickly wrap up on Liverpool.
But पता है विराट कोहली
Uh,
टूर्नामेंट्स के लिए नहीं खेल रहा है. Sorry Appu.
Sorry, guys, we are a football podcast. Back to topic. Appu, you continue. Don't listen to him.
yeah,
I'll mute him. Don't worry.
yeah, no, finally on Liverpool, what do you think of your title charge? Looking good, looking not so good?
Not too early. Still too early. Dude, yesterday the
That's what City have instilled. The fear that City
Why?
have instilled in other teams.
we've
You are
been in
never
this
too
situation.
sure. You are never too
Yeah,
sure.
we've
Yeah.
been in this situation. I mean, come on, Raghu, look at Arsenal. Okay,
Yeah.
you were better off than last season in the last season than this year. This
Yeah.
last season, this time you had 30 points or something,
Yeah.
whatever, and you're still way off the mark currently, and you're still having to call it. I mean, that's the kind of fear I have, like Man City has instilled in me, because I remember 2018-19, we had one draw at a critical phase against probably away at West Ham, and we lost the season by 1 point, whatever, right? And it was, and that one game I had missed in the entire season. It was a 1:30 a.m. game. Okay, I missed that game. Woke up and I was like 1-1 हुआ है. I'm like ठीक है चलेगा. End of the season, lose by 1 point. It's painful. Bhai. It doesn't. I mean, I don't have any expectation. Yesterday, the commentator was like, top of the table, 5 points ahead in the lead. I'm like, yeah, chup ho ja, bhai. They have played a game lesser than us. They're only
Yeah.
effectively 2 points away. So, please, I mean, don't do this to me. Don't give me hopes because it's way too early. City, अभी तो KDB आया है, भाई. मतलब he's just arrived on the scene. This is his start of the season. No way am I going to say we are comfortable at this stage. Whatever.
Speaking of the fear that City instilled in other teams, let's go to the team in which they instilled that fear last season. Raghu, Arsenal, after a while, have finally found a win against a struggling Palace side. But yeah, finally a good weekend for you.
Yeah, I'll take that, man. We really needed this, and I think as Saka put it, I don't think we should be going back to Dubai, but focus on the league ahead. But there was, I think, news that Saka was asking if we can go back and train in Dubai. But in all seriousness, I think we really needed this win, and by this margin, given the lack of confidence, right, across competitions, like with Liverpool in the FA Cup, we really struggled. We played a good game. I think that was a really nice game, but towards the end, we gave it away. Shut up, Riku. But in general, even in the league, yeah, as I said, like December has the Christmas break was horrible. So yeah, I think I to start off on the positive note, I don't know what to praise our defenders for, either the clean sheet or the goals that they've contributed to. But Gabriel, like amazing contribution. He's Riku. You were talking about headers. I think our team has the most number of headed goals in the Premier League this season, and also acknowledge Raya and his key contribution. So the switch and the counter attack which led to that Trossard goal was amazing. Like presence of mind. He made some amazing saves. He wasn't really threatened overall, but one or two saves of his were really amazing. And yeah, 3 points. So we'll take that, and I think on we go to Nottingham.
Yeah, as you said, good result. But one of the main talking points about Arsenal are the goals, obviously.
Yeah,
There seemed to be a lack of goals, and there's some talk about getting a striker in. We discussed that in our transfer episode.
yeah.
Do you still think that you need a striker, or
Yeah, I would. Okay, so firstly, this lack of goals has even impacted our home game. So in a way, that was a bit nice for us to score at home again, and by these many by the win by this margin. But I'd still say we're not. A Crystal Palace 5-0 win is not a testament that you don't need strikers in general. Again, as you rightly said, the Crystal Palace side is a struggling one at this point. You saw the banners go up towards the end of the game, and I still feel that we need a good striker, right, to support us. Now, is that going to be Ivan Toney or someone else? Something up for debate. But the way the window is progressing, I'm not very optimistic, to be honest. But whatever happens, I guess, towards deadline day is something that hopefully materializes. But we do need that rotation if we are going to play the forward press game, and if we're going to be winning more of the ball in their half, in the opponent's half. You do need a quality front line and quality strikers to again finish off those chances. So yeah, I think I'd still stick to saying that we need one striker.
okay, fair enough. Again, we talk about the title race. We can't not talk about Arsenal because they are also on 43 points along with City. But obviously, City have played a game less.
Yeah.
I'll just throw this to the room. Who do you think finishes higher, Liverpool or Arsenal?
Wow.
I'm excited for that answer.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Riku. It is too early. I do understand that, but if you talk about who finishes right now, I think we're still shaky in the league, man. Because look, we are still in the Champions League and we still have a long way to go as a team. I think
How many years have you waited to say that sentence?
Still in the Champions League.
yes, a long time.
Clearly a dig at the rest of us.
I mean, it's okay. We are on the same route, so we'll have to wait 10 years for it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say something controversial, Riku. I don't know if you agree, but I think we have the capability to finish above Liverpool this season. I don't want to talk about winning the league yet, but I think we have it in us to finish above Liverpool.
I don't think anyone's talking about you all winning the league, mate.
What?
I don't think anyone's talking about that for Arsenal anymore.
Can you imagine? We were towards early December, as early as early December. We were, right? So things change quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe they change for the better from now. Maybe KDB is injured again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You started wishing an injury on a player now. This is what football does to you guys. Stay away.
Yes.
But you know what?
You've let City pass you already, sir.
But you know what I feel?
City what?
You've let City pass you already. Like at least you waited till like March last time.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit
other teams
different.
have also geared up, right? It's not just Liverpool, it's not just City. You have much more competition this season as compared to the last one, right? I know we had Newcastle last season and they were right up there, but this season it's much more tighter after Liverpool. And even Liverpool, as Riku said, it's something that can change very quickly. So, yeah. But Riku, what are your thoughts on? So my final take is we will finish above Liverpool at the
You know
end.
what? You know what I think you need? Arsenal needs a sociologist. Because it's just that the chemistry, it just dips at the very wrong time, and then when you're peaking. Everybody is like, नहीं नहीं अभी तो आर्सेनल मचा रहा है, and then you lose at Fulham.
Yeah.
मतलब भाई क्यों भाई, मतलब कुछ तो हो जाता है भाई. आई मीन ऐसा जाता है, ऐसा कैसे जाता है रे तू, मतलब ये तो इमेजिका का रोलर कोस्टर से भी खराब है भाई, मतलब सोच भाई.
Man, you can't. So look at the team, right? We're still and like we are not an experienced side. We're getting players like Jorginho now, who I would say is more on the experienced side. But if you leave out some key players, the average age, keeping all those facts aside as well, the team hasn't experienced at that level continuously that level of competition. So I think they're still grappling with that.
And I think
But
that
that
is
being
why
said, take this
that
away as an excuse, right? On one end, you have a squad that's still learning how to cope with this level of competition with the likes of City, and on the other end, we've been saying rebuild and project for a while now, right? So it's time we started to show some results, and I think uh, going in the Champions League as far as we can is going to be something interesting that we can take away.
I really hope Arsenal wins the Champions League this season, or at least competes really hard for Champions League.
Wins.
wins
What
is
team
It's
is big enough? See, I mean,
oh, I'll take that. Oh man,
I'm comparing you guys with the 2019 Champions League Liverpool win, because nobody expected us to win that year, because even I didn't expect it. Like,
I
go
mean,
on, by guess.
I think still more people expected Liverpool to win that Champions League than people expected Chelsea to win that in 2021. So
That's true.
That's
Again,
true.
that's true.
that's the unpredictability the
but the
competition brings.
takeaway is unpredictable teams in the Champions League, so why not, right?
Very
So Arsenal, they have a squad that can do it. You know,
Yeah.
when push comes to shove, it's a knockout format. It's a two-legged knockout format. There's no away goals anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if push comes to shove, Arsenal has the quality, they have the players, they have the squad, they have the right manager to be able to do that. Something we had in 2021 with Tuchel in charge and the players. He managed to get the best out of them when it mattered. We were still sometimes doing shit in the league. It wasn't
Yeah.
that we were winning games in the league every weekend or something like that. But we were doing okay in the league. We were still trying to build a team. But Champions League is something very different. It's just one game. It's about who turns up on the night. And because of that, I think Arsenal do have a chance. And something like that could change the season for them, could change the trajectory completely going forward. When the players get that taste of victory, the taste of triumph, of winning a trophy. So I think that could be what is the final touch, that Arsenal are lacking. So maybe that could happen. So you never say no. But in terms of finishing higher in the league, I think Liverpool have a much more mature squad, a much more experienced squad. Have been in this kind of situations for the last few years. So I think they have the right mentality to come out on top. But as Raghu said, it's so tight at the top, you don't know. I mean, and that's Premier League for you. I mean, it's always been like that, except the last few seasons when City was dominating. It's always been
Yeah.
unpredictable. And you can't,
Yeah.
the thing that Riku also said is you can't slip up. Even one draw, even one loss, khata. So you can't slip up even for a single game. But
Yeah, that's how tight Premier League is. And but why I want, exactly, just to add to your point, what you just said, I want Arsenal to win the Champions League because winning is a habit. Because your players need to learn how to win. You win once, you will keep on winning. I mean, the amazing season that we had in 28 from 2018 to 2020 is because of that Champions League win. If we hadn't won that Champions League, we would have not stepped up our game and kept on being consistent, right? And went on. I don't want Arsenal to win the league this year. Probably even if you don't win the league, it's okay. But you should
I
win
think
the Champions
nobody's
League.
talking about Arsenal winning the league anymore. I think that's
I don't think anyone's talking about Arsenal winning the Champions League either. But anyway,
Maybe that's when, you
again, personal opinion, I think they have the quality to do it.
Yeah, they have the quality. I think they should focus on Champions League. They should take their eyes off the Premier League. They should focus on the Champions
सही है ना ताकि तुम लोग को easy मिल जाए खुद तो हो ना ये Champions League में
League. They are not going to come close to us. It's not possible.
and चलो आपको moving on
yeah, let's.
so let's hear Appu's thoughts on it. What do you think? Who will finish there? Liverpool or Arsenal?
My thought, I've always been saying that Liverpool will be the closest to City, if not winning the league themselves. So for me, Liverpool will get it done.
What about Arsenal winning the Champions League?
Let's not go there because let's just not let's not go there.
The trauma for Chelsea fans would be too much. So let's not go there.
There's one thing we can lord over them. But anyway.
One question I have is like in terms of tough fixtures in the league, is Liverpool done with all of them? I think we have City, we have United, one leg left each, and
everyone's got everyone one round.
No, but if in some scenarios it's not evenly split, right? Like for example, Liverpool and us, like we played back to back. One was FA Cup, one was the first leg, and the second leg is coming up in a few weeks.
So we've only played you guys. That's it.
Sorry?
We've only played you guys against in the top six.
So the problem Liverpool have right now is Liverpool's next Premier League game is Chelsea, and after that it's Arsenal in like 3 days' time. So it's a midweek Chelsea game and then an Arsenal game on Sunday. So that's the problem Liverpool have.
And then I think a few weeks later you again face Tottenham or something of that sort. So I'm not, of course, we're in the middle of the league and you'll have 50% left to go, but the scheduling of the fixtures as well probably makes a difference. But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it can be much better for us, maybe. Probably like I think Liverpool has got it quite well spaced out. I feel for about here, there is some opportunity to like flex and to chill out at times. But then, you never know. Even a Bournemouth away game is scary for me. I mean, with City breathing down your backs, I mean, breathing on your neck, you just can't chill, man. It's just such a horrible team that Guardiola has created. I hate them, man. I hate them. There's too much trauma. There's too much, and the problem is there's too much last day trauma. Like I think 3-4 seasons I have dealt with that kind of a you go on to win. Liverpool scores first, and then in the other game you switch the channel and City has scored 3. Even after going 1 down, City has scored 3. Like, bhai kaise? You're this close to winning a league and then you just don't win. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So I did the research. I think
I'm sure y'all can talk. Yeah.
I was saying that I did the research about so Arsenal and Liverpool have to play both have to play Chelsea, United, Spurs, and City. The only difference between the two teams is that Arsenal still have to play Newcastle, whereas Liverpool don't. So that's the only difference. But again, I didn't check for Aston Villa and stuff, so maybe Aston Villa is a big team to be scared of. So that's the only difference. So yeah, Appu, continue.
Yeah, I mean, like let's just quickly move on then because.
Sorry, but I'm just reading a tweet that just came in like 10 minutes back. PGMO and Chief Howard Webb has now admitted two glaring mistakes which cost Liverpool 5 points in the Premier League. Martin Odegaard's handball and Luis Diaz's offside.
Yeah.
I mean, they had already admitted to that, but
Diaz one was
लीग हार गए तो अभी तुम्हारे पास कुछ है ब्लेम करने को कोई नहीं.
LFC should have been unbeaten at 7 points ahead of Man City. Ban the league.
बस चुप हो जा आगे.
Yes, let's just बहुत हो गया इसका. Moving on to another team that was in the Champions League this season but have crashed out since. Newcastle.
United.
They've got issues.
Yes,
Both
they
United
have.
crashed out. That's actually a fair point.
I mean,
Uh, but let's stick to Newcastle for now. Newcastle have issues with financial fair play, and apparently they need to offload a few players. And there were reports coming in earlier this week that they were not willing to sell Trippier and Callum Wilson, and that they'd stay beyond the window. Trippier, like with heavy interest from Bayern, but now it looks like they might have to sell these players. So, Google, what do you make of that, and how that could impact their season?
okay. So first of all, I'd like to say that I'm surprised by how this has gone under the radar about Newcastle's struggles with FFP. But in researching into it, reading more into it, I've got to know that they are in, I mean, it's not huge trouble, but they are in a spot of bother. So they have got to offload players. So what happened basically, I'll explain to the viewers, is they, in the last 2 years since the Saudi takeover, they've been signing players and it's cost them almost around 400 million. But according to the financial fair play rules, as we know, you got to balance your sheets. And what's happened is now they are in such a situation that to avoid facing consequences and punishments for financial fair play, they need to raise funds. And the only way to do that is to let players go. So, and that too in a season when they have been struggling with injuries so badly. I mean, half of the team at one point they had about 11 or 12 players out through injury while competing in four different cups, like cups and league, four different competitions. So it has come at a very bad time for them, I think. And now they have got to, they wanted to get rid of Trippier. Like they didn't want to get rid of Trippier, but I don't think they have any option left with Bayern Munich ready to take him up because Kane wants to get the band back together. But yeah, so I don't think they have an option now. They have to sell Trippier. But if they do that, they don't have a replacement. They don't have funds to buy another replacement. And the main thing that teams, like the big teams, rely on when trying to raise funds are academy products because they are pure profit on the books. Newcastle don't have enough academy players or good academy players, I'd say, through which they can raise funds. So they've got to let go of players such as Trippier, Callum Wilson, maybe even Miguel Almiron, and players who have been really crucial to for their team. So it's a really tricky situation for them. But I mean, to be honest, if you won't let go of a 33-year-old Trippier, I mean, he's your best option to raise money. Why not?
Yeah, and he's got plenty of interest as well from teams like Bayern and again, you're right that I am also surprised that this has gone under the radar in the sense that they have spent a fair bit of money and like they didn't exactly have they weren't in many competitions also last season to raise as much funds, and this time they crashed out of the Champions League. So they all that extra kind of money they may have got is out now. So makes sense that they're kind of struggling, and that's being reflected also on the pitch because they've got a lot of injuries. They're below us at this point, which is another big surprise. And it doesn't look likely that they'll make European competition for next season. So it's got to be a big problem for them if they don't raise funds by selling players.
So basically, if they start selling players now, if they start selling the Trippier, Callum Wilson, Miguel Almiron, who also has interest from Saudi, I've heard that Saudi
Yeah.
wants Miguel Almiron. They're ready to pay 30 million for him. So again, a good way to raise funds.
That's
But
like huge money for them.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
well, so if they start letting go of players like these, they are basically writing off the season because they already have so many injury troubles. They have They're really struggling in the league already. They want to make a push for European football. They want to still go ahead in the cups. But if you sell important players like these, I think you're basically writing off the season. So now they are in a dilemma whether we write off this season or we keep hold of our players and then try to offload them in the summer and just freshen up the squad. Like let players go and then get cheaper players in, younger players in. So it's a really tricky situation, I think. But
But that sounds like a costly affair, Google. What you're saying is basically if you let players go and then do again a rebuild on top of what they've already done, it sounds like something that is firstly going to take time. It's not that they go out in the market and they're able to immediately get all of their first choices. Remember, we're talking about Newcastle. Not saying they're a bad team, but then again, all the good talent are going to be, paid off by big clubs, bigger clubs in this case. But the point is, what is the worst that could happen? What I'm thinking on the other side is if, let's say, there is a 5 point deduction, right? If I was Newcastle, would you take that 5 point deduction, go on, keep the players that you have, and then see where you land up, rather than sell having
but
to sell players?
again,
I
with the
don't know
Premier
what is
League
the
rules and stuff, I mean,
yeah.
now that we have seen Everton being handed a 10-point deduction and there's talks of Nottingham Forest as well getting a point deduction and stuff like that,
Yeah,
you know that there is a point deduction penalty.
correct.
But
Yeah,
it's just one case where that's happened and where the punishment has been applied. There's not enough
yeah,
precedent to predict what will be the punishment. I think
right.
it can depend upon the scale of the offense as well and stuff like that. You really don't want to mess with financial fair play, I'd say. A
Yeah,
club would never want to mess with financial fair play unless they are Chelsea and unless they are owned by Roman
that's it.
Abramovich. So unless those kind of things are happening, but you really don't want to mess with financial fair play because you don't know what the consequences will be. So
Yeah.
I think that is not what's on their mind. I mean, they won't try to play with financial fair play, but
No, it's not playing with it. So they wait it out, right? They see what comes of it and push for as less of a penalty as possible from their side.
I
And
mean,
then
again,
the long term season.
you don't know this finance if they breach the rules now. Now these
Yeah,
are 3 year cycles of FFP where
yeah,
they judge your books and they scrutinize your books, they go through your books and they see if there's been any breach. These are 3 year cycles. Now imagine they do some shit now where they're breaching the financial fair play and then 3 years later they keep the squad, they build towards something, they get more players in, they build towards something. 3 years later they're pushing for the title. Imagine, would they want
yeah.
a 5 point deduction then in a title race? I don't
Uh,
think so. I don't think that option of getting like just seeing it out and getting a points deduction later is an option for the team. But yeah, I
right.
think it's more about trying to think of a solution to raise funds. So, but at the moment with injuries, like I don't see any other option but to take a dip in the short term. Like they'd have to sell their good players, get fresher faces, and like I mean, there's no point in selling a player for 30 million and then buying someone for 75 in the summer. It's not
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
exactly.
So
It's not that they're going to get a good
yeah,
player for 30 million in this
yeah,
market,
in this market.
right?
So
Right.
it's like
Yeah,
you're selling your players now and then getting someone from the lower leagues or teams lower in the Premier League to just freshen up the squad, young prospects with potential in them. So it's a complete rebuild that they have to go through. So the Saudis clearly didn't think it through when they bought the club, and this just spent 400 million, which I'm scared that Boli's been doing too. So, but that's a different conversation
Yeah.
altogether. But they've
Yeah,
really
I think
not
the
thought
difference.
it through, and
Yeah, the difference between them and us is like we've managed to balance the books with amortization and also like with player sales, so that's helped us.
yeah.
Um,
And
Obviously, like
I'll give you an
Newcastle,
example. Like,
yeah,
why do you think Chelsea wants to sell Conor Gallagher, who's been their best player so far this season? Like, I mean, not even arguably. I mean, he's been our best player this season for a lot of games. So,
yeah,
why do you think Chelsea want to sell him? Because he's an academy product. So whatever, if we sell him for 50 million, it's 50 million of profit. So
Yeah.
you see that Chelsea have the option with academy players who have been doing well, who are still doing. I mean, not the best, but still doing well enough to get good money. I'm sorry for the noise in the background if I'm getting any. There is probably a cop chase going outside, but yeah. So as I was saying, so as I
Brandon Strangler.
as I was saying, so Chelsea still have the academy products that they can sell, and it's pure profit. If push comes to shove, we'll probably be even open to selling Reece James to balance our books.
I,
Because
I hope not.
I hope not, I pray
Yeah.
not. But if the situation
Well,
arises,
can.
we'd probably have to. We have the option basically.
That's true. I understand
Newcastle,
what you're
in
saying.
Newcastle's case, they don't have the option.
Yeah.
They don't have players who are doing good that they probably don't need or could do without.
Yeah.
So if they have to sell players, they have to take a hit in the form, at least for the short term, I'd say.
Guys, let's
Yeah.
just sell Raghav here. Let's just. I think we'll make a lot of profit.
We aren't in FFP trouble, Rico. we don't have such issues as of yet.
I think we can sell.
Guys,
Raghav,
I'd
we can-
sell rather for 100 subscribers.
Le lo, bhai. Le lo.
I'd do it.
Bhai. Sell just.
Okay, this is clearly descending into like it's going down a very different path now. So I'll move it along. This the last thing I just wanted to mention very quickly, since it was such a huge talking point, is I mean Ivan Toney's back from his betting ban, but he's created more headlines with his free kick.
Why is Arsenal fans
Just-
celebrating as if they're
Yeah.
going to get him?
No. Just when I was about to say, oh yes, he's back and he might join Arsenal. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean I'm sure he won't get banned for this,
yeah.
but it did create a lot of controversy. So I just wanted quickly everyone's take on what you thought. Well, firstly I'll set the context. Basically, Brentford have a free kick just outside the area, and after the keeper sets his wall, Ivan Toney moves the ball twice towards the right to create a more favorable angle, and then he also moves the foam, which is quite clever and funny, but at the same time, maybe not legal. We'll get into that. To dupe the referee as well, and then he scores from that free kick. Nuno Espirito Santo, the Nottingham Forest manager, had a lot to say about it. And he said that the goal should not have stood. So I just go around the room again to just get a quick take on it. Google, let's start with you.
I'm all for this shithousery. I mean, amazing. At the,
Definitely, bro.
yeah, peak content. Peak Ivan Toney. I mean, what else could you have asked for on his return? I mean, he bet on himself, got banned for 8 months, came back, and I think he probably had £10 on him to score that day, which is why he did that. But I mean, fair play to him. I mean, if it went unnoticed, it went unnoticed. I mean, it was a goal. Nobody said anything. I'm taking it. So, at the end of the day, it was a goal. I mean, it was clever.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that, oh, it's happened in the past as well. Why is there a big deal now? We have seen players do it, move the foam and shit. But I think it's the first time that it's resulted in a goal. Which is why the big controversy. Which is why I also think, like, apart from all the fun and jokes, I think VR should have intervened over there. Like, I mean, we've talked about VR on this podcast a lot. I mean, but for some reason, they just want to keep doing these mistakes again and again. Like, why the hell are you even sitting in that room with more screens than probably we have? Like, you have 12 screens or whatever it is. You have 4 men sitting in that room looking at the footage, and still you can't catch something like that. Or did you guys also have £10 on Ivan Toney to score? What's going on? To be honest, I mean, I don't understand how VR can't spot that. The camera spotted, it's viral all over the internet, but you guys sitting there with 12 screens at the same time can't see that.
And why can't you review an event like that? Why can't you go back? why can't you rewind in football? I don't really
What's the
understand.
rule?
What is the point of VAR then?
What's the rule?
I
What do
mean,
you say
Yeah,
that
no,
the
so
ball wasn't in play or what?
Point is it's inconsistent. So it's not that there is rewind. There are goals getting disallowed and all of that happening, right? So, but I don't think why are they not doing that in this case where they either retake a penalty, retake a free kick of that sort, or they just on the spot the ref spots it. So yeah, that's I think the really shady.
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually, Google the ref had money on Ivan Toney.
Yeah, probably. I mean, first of all, I'm
Banger though.
surprised that none of the Nottingham Forest was it, I think. Yeah, none of the opposition
yeah, I
players
saw this. Yeah.
spotted it either. Like, I mean, what were they lost? I mean, they weren't looking at the ball or what? There is a wall of 4 players standing there, just watching him do
Block the
that.
ball.
Yeah, भाई कर ले. सही सही. Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's the amazing bit about this. And like I saw the footage and I also saw still images from it. At the time where Tony moves the balls, not one Nottingham Forest player is looking at him, like actually looking at him. You've got one man turned around on the ball, obviously to get instructions from the keeper. But the other three are like looking elsewhere. One of them is also looking at the keeper, then the other two are looking elsewhere. No one's watching Tony and what he's doing. And the fact that he does it twice, I mean, like it's
Gets
illegal,
away with it. I
obviously, but
mean, yeah, it should
exactly.
be. Netflix can make a documentary on it, like biggest heist of 2024. Right?
I mean, I feel like Netflix can make a whole documentary on VR decisions this season and label that biggest heist of 2023-24. But yeah, I suppose we are all in agreement that that should not have stood.
Oh, clearly not. Clearly not.
Well,
I'm all for the
Because
shithousery,
difference.
but when
Yeah.
you have the technology and everything to do that, I mean, it's resulted in a goal.
Yeah,
If it was something
Yeah,
else, then probably doesn't matter. But it resulted in a goal, and VAR has the opportunity to intervene when it's a goal. When a play has resulted in a goal, that is one of the few moments when VAR can intervene, but they still don't.
yeah.
So
I mean,
doesn't
if
make
it was
sense.
if it was 2000, if it was 2001, and that Roberto Carlos free kick or whenever whichever year that was, right? If he had also moved the ball,
Nostalgia merchant Appu is having a heart attack. Was it the right year?
whatever year that was. The point is, if it was that long back and Roberto Carlos was taking that free kick, and we didn't have cameras to actually know what he did with the ball, right? So the point is, back then it made sense for the goal to stand or like just get on with it. We don't know what happened with. I mean, we wouldn't care so much. But today, when you have cameras everywhere in this ground, how can you not spot that? I mean, it's so sad. It's so stupid. And VR probably wouldn't even comment on that. I don't know if they did, but there's no.
Yeah.
3 months later, they would be like,
Mm.
there was an obvious error in that game.
Yeah.
And chief Ford Web has
Nottingham
accepted.
Forest gets relegated. They're like, oops, sorry,
Yeah.
galti ho gayi.
Yeah.
So
There'll be an apology, I'm
minus
sure.
10 points.
Apology letter, साथ में एक lollipop. Enjoy.
Yeah, anyway, that's, I mean, like, there's not much more to discuss from this weekend. Obviously, this was a split game week because of the winter break. We had 5 games each on the weekend before last and 5 games the weekend that just finished. That's it from us. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment what your views are. Do you think that Ivan Toney goal should have stood? What do you think Newcastle should do? Do you think City are still favourites for the title? Let us know what your opinions are in the comments. And yeah, that's it from us.
भाई क्यों आज तक म्यूजिक इसका आउटरो होना चाहिए ऐसा आपको ऐसा पूरा रिपोर्टर जैसा पड़ा भाई
But नहीं viewers like पहले like कर वीडियो एंड नहीं करेंगे like कर
आपको क्या लगता है सनसनी
like कर वीडियो एंड नहीं करेंगे पहले वीडियो like कर
लाइक